Welcome aboard, everybody. I'm your pilot wannabe. Finally, finally in the Cessna 310, and well, just in time, a van or something just started up by me. Yeah, it's this guy right here. Anyway, we're finally in the Cessna 310. I'm gonna pretend to buy this one and bring it home. It's one of I don't know, 3 or 4 planes in the simulator that if I won the lottery tomorrow, I would want to maybe buy one. So seems appropriate. Anyway, we'll hit the flight plan. Actually, we'll after the intro, we'll look at the advertisement for the plane, the real ad online, and then we'll go to the flight plan and then get back in the plane. So, see you there. This is the plane I am pretending to buy. 1975 Cessna 310R. I believe 1975 was the first year for the R, the 310R. They started making 310s in the mid 50s and stopped in 1980, I believe. And so the last 5 years they made a 310R. They also made turbo 310Rs. If I was buying one in real life, I might want a turbo. But either way, this one has a nearly identical nearly identical what do you call it, livery to one in the simulator, one of the liveries in the simulator, so that works out well. It's in Melbourne, Arkansas, not Melbourne, uh, Australia. That would be a much longer flight. Not really much I want to talk about with the plane itself. We'll look at some of the views here. Yeah, very similar paint scheme to the one in the simulator. The avionics don't match all that well. There's a 530 and there's a big engine monitor. So the simulator, I've got a 530 and a 430, and all of this is in about just about the same places, although it's not a white panel. And then for whatever reason, in this one, they stripped out all the co-pilot instruments. That's strange to me. And it's got a little bit older looking yokes. I believe the model in the simulator is probably more like a 79 or an 80 instead of a 75. But yeah, $325,000. I'm not sure this would be the exact one I would buy if I was in the market right now, because the fact that the avionics are missing right here is kind of annoying. Although, if we're dreaming, we could dream that I had the money to get it outfitted however I wanted. So there's that. All right, let's look at we'll just switch over to the flight plan. So Melbourne, Arkansas, West Lafayette, Indiana. It's supposed to be 2 hours and 10 minutes. We'll see. We've got a kind of somewhat gnarly wind. I already looked at the weather and everything. There's turbulence at the home end, and there's a fairly stiff crosswind almost the whole time. So there's that. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different VORs we're using as waypoints. I believe the last one is for Terre Haute, Indiana. I think that's the same VOR that was our last one when we did the I found this Duke for sale online, which is which has been all by itself in a playlist, for I found such and such plane online and flew it home. So this is only the second one in the series for that. But finally, the planes are fixed now. I kind of wish I'd known sooner that all I needed to do was uninstall and reinstall the whole simulator. I say all I needed to do as if that was the perfectly easy thing. I mean, not that it was hard, but it was a pain. And then now all the hour counters and all my planes are zeroed out again. I haven't double checked to make sure that it still has counted my total hours in the simulator. I hope it has. Now I kind of don't want to know. I'm scared to check. I'll check after I record this. All right, let's get back in the plane. We're back to the plane, and we'll check it out. Okay, and the guy is still tooling around in the van here, just idling and moving around, making sure to annoy me. All right, seems like a nice day here in Arkansas. Here's the plane. Yeah, the 310 in the simulator, which I'll get into the developer in a minute, does this weird thing where you can get your own registration number, but it just imprints it small and white over the existing one, which kind of sucks. I think they have a really fancy fictional livery for Blackbird simulations that it shows the registration correctly. It doesn't double it up like that. I think it might be only just that one livery that works that way. Kind of annoying. I feel like every plane in the simulator, no matter what, should let you get your own personal registration number without any hiccups. But at any rate, yes, Blackbird simulations, also known as Milviz. I was trying before recording this to sort out what name the developer really is. I mean, when you get this add-on for the simulator, it comes up in your list of airplanes as being Milviz. Milviz. Oh my God, he started his van up again. Anyway, look, even she's got to hold her ear because of this guy. Anyway, Milviz and Blackbird are the same company. Basically, I guess Blackbird is more of the civilian name for the company, and Milviz is more of the industrial and or like military contract, making simulation software kind of deal, if I'm understanding it correctly. If not, c'est la vie. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, the 310 itself, as I said, was made starting in the mid 50s, stopped making it around 1980. Typical for my favorite kind of airplanes. Typical history. They use some in the military and stuff. It's got a lot of cool stuff besides being, a twin engine piston propeller plane. Oh, he shut his van off. Oh no, he just vanished. Vanished. I didn't mean to do that, but yeah, the van vanished. Anyway, so it's got de-icing boots on the leading edges of the wings and the empennage, and heated props, and I believe it's a heated windshield. Here it sits with its chocks and pitot covers and all that fun stuff. Got these big tip tanks, and I can take all that stuff off. Here, shall we pretend to get inside? Let's pretend to get inside, even though it shows me already in there. Yeah, okay. Let's get inside this guy's head. Oh, disturbing. There, now we're inside. So we've got a tablet, and this is what was not working before. The tablet, you couldn't put it away, and it wasn't responding to inputs basically. But let's remove the engine covers, intake covers, pitot covers. Let's see, I can set the parking brake if it's not already set. It's showing as already set down there, but I'll set it with my Honeycomb Bravo. And I believe this is another one of the planes where you have to do it realistically, in that you have to push the brakes down before pulling that to make it work. So, okay, now we'll remove the chocks. But what I wanted to show you was how we can look in the wing lockers and stuff. Oh, look, you can hide the avatars. I didn't have to have the guy sitting in here. Huh. I'll be damned. I thought there was... Oh, wait, that just put stuff in it. Yeah, I didn't want to put stuff in it. Let's see if it actually put the weight in there on the weight and balance page. Like a left, yeah, put the max, 113 pounds in both wing lockers. Yeah, I didn't need that. I forgot what I was doing here. Yeah, we'll get rid of that. Oh, I accidentally got rid of the co-pilot. We'll put her back in before takeoff. I also have 135 pounds of oil, which they don't want you to screw with. All right, how do we open these? Oh, here we go. Yeah, been a while since I've been in this plane. I wanted to make this video a month ago, and I just got lucky the plane was still for sale. Of course, it is kind of a high price for this plane. So, and I'm betting other people don't like the fact that you can't that you don't in the real one for sale. You don't have all of these steam gauges over here. It's just a blank panel. Oh, look, my passenger comfort is going down. Probably chilly, I bet. I don't know. We'll see. Engine covers. Oh, wait. We don't want that. I was just trying to open things. There we go. Let's pretend to get back out. Oh, he's still there. It said hide avatars. He's still there. Anyway, so yeah, we've got we've got actual luggage stuffed in behind the seats there. We don't have the 113 pounds of luggage crammed in there. Yeah, nothing in that wing locker, but we should have some luggage up here because I chose to put weight in there. So, yeah, depending on how much weight you choose, it'll show more bags in there. So, yeah, this when this plane came out, it was the most detailed, uh, most in-depth uh, piston engine, GA plane in the simulator. It was something. Well, you really sort of need to close that door before you can get in the plane, huh? It won't let me do it from here. So, alas, we shall pretend. We'll get back inside his head. Okay. All right, let's close all that junk up. Locker door, left locker door, rear baggage door, nose door. Let's put the co-pilot back in. Let's not hide the avatars. And, well, we'll start getting it fired up and we'll see what the outside air temperature is. I realize now I don't have the checklist with me. I have a checklist that I made for the 310, and it's on my Chromebook. And I forgot to grab my Chromebook. So give me just a moment. I'll be right back. All right, I've got the all-important checklist now. Yeah, I made a checklist, kind of cobbled together from different sources, and then a little bit more uh, attuned to it being a simulator. So like the very first thing is fuel and loading, which I've already done. I have it set up with half tank in the mains and full tip tanks. If I'm remembering how the plane works, you're supposed to run the main tanks down to half and then switch to the tip tanks. I'm not positive. We'll see. Anyway, so fuel and loading, check. Covers ever been removed? Check. Parking brake set. I say check, but I went into the drone camera. Yeah, I went in the drone camera, and when I came back in, it disengaged the parking brake. I don't know why it does that. It's a glitch. So glitchy. Wonder how glitchy Microsoft Flight Simulator 24 is going to be. We'll see. Wheel chocks removed. Flight controls free and correct. Now this plane, if I set the options correctly, let's see. Yeah, lots of options here, obviously. Show registration. I have it set to owned, which means that it will stay however I left it. And its level, the condition of the engines and whatnot will be all the way I left it. If you set this to default, then it'll be like a magic plane, like one of the stock planes. It'll always be good to go with all the switches, where they should be every time you fire it up. If you pick rental, it will randomize the condition of the plane and the switches and whatnot inside, which is kind of fun. Kind of fun, especially if you want to role play, doing just moving a plane from one place to another. Like even I can't think of the term. There's a term for it, and I can't think of it. Half the time, whenever I'm recording, I I forget all kinds of stuff and can't remember how to do this. But anyway, yeah, if you're wanting to pretend you're transporting a plane, you can hit the rental thing and just randomize the condition of it. Down here, individualization. When you check that box, when you have it owned, and then you check individualization, it's my understanding that then it will randomize the condition of the plane as far as like engine wear and tear and whatnot. And it'll randomize that, and then you'll go henceforth forward with it in that condition unless you repair something. Engine realism means that you can damage the engines if you're not careful. Same thing with systems realism and wear and tear. And then for failures, rarely is supposed to be the realistic setting. You can set it to never, of course, to make it a magic plane. You can set it to occasionally, which will make things fail a little more often than would be potentially realistic, as if maybe you aren't maintaining the airplane very well, or frequently if you just really want to experience a failure. So yeah, as it's set, I forget what took us here. Oh yeah, I should double check that the flight controls are working because I think it's possible for them to not be working. So we got aileron up and down appropriately there. We've got, oh yeah, you can see the whole tail thanks to the back window. We got elevator up and down. We've got rudder left and right. I'm really not sure that you can test the rudder that easily with it on the ground, considering the rotor pedals are connected to the front wheel. But I guess next time I'm by a real pilot, I'll ask. Okay, that all seems to be working. All right, next on the checklist. So fuel selectors both on main. Fuel selectors are down here in the dark. And that would be left engine, left main tank, right engine, right main tank. I think I geared this checklist to kind of move geographically through the plane. So yeah, fuel selectors and then cowl flaps open. I can't ever get these cowl flaps to respond to any kind of a control binding. I always have to just do them with the mouse. So annoying. Landing gear lever down. If I remember where I left it, yeah, there it is. Landing gear lever is down in the cockpit and is down on my hardware. Mixture full rich, which these mixture levers make the cool clicky noise. Oh, except now they're not responding. Oh, it. I tried to make sure that I was all set up for this, and I didn't make sure that the control scheme. Another glitch in the simulator, at least for the Xbox, is that it doesn't always stay on the control scheme that you chose. Yesterday I had it on the 310R control scheme, and I always go the wrong direction on this and go all the way around, it seems like. These are all the control schemes that I have set up. Not all of these are like really legit anymore. I've evolved on my control schemes. I heard or read somewhere that when you switch to the new simulator, to Flight Simulator 2024, that all the control schemes are going to be blank and you're going to have to start over. I'm almost feeling like I'm okay with that. There we go, 310R. Oh my God. I'm almost feeling like I'm okay with that. I need to clean this up. This is kind of a catastrophe. Now we can listen to the nice, there it is. Nice clicky noises. Very nice. Yeah, let's make sure that everything's connected here. Okay, all connected. Mixture's full rich, props full forward, throttle's open 1 inch. Sure. All switches off, and then all circuit breakers in. So let's start over here. All of these switches are off except the landing gear is in the off position because you've got extend and retract. It's got the old hidden headlights that drop down into the wings. And these are the circuit breakers, and the circuit breakers do work. And if they're popped out, they will look like so. Although it's being a little hard to see with the sun beating down on them. Yeah, I had a previous 310. The first time I was flying the 310, and I had it on the owned setting. For whatever reason, my owned one, the circuit breaker for the flaps was always popped every time I started the plane. It was very strange. Okay, what about switches down here? Yep. All these switches are in the off position. Uh, These are off, but I'm gonna actually give us some cabin air. The heat is in the off position, flaps up, and that's about it for switches. Okay, switches and circuit breaker. All switches off. Circuit breakers check in. Battery and alternator on. Battery and alternator on for this one. So here's the master right there, and then this alternators for both sides. I have it set on one switch. Okay, batteries and landing gear check 3 green. Check. All warning lights press to test. So these 2 warning lights are already on. Press that one. Press that one. The alternator ones are already on. Low fuel. And then I do these 2 by switching the fuel. Right now, since the fuel switches are on the main tanks, those fuel gauges are showing what's in the main tanks, and you can pull this down temporarily to look at the auxiliary tanks, and it also turns these lights on. And so that way I'm testing the lights and doing the next thing on the checklist, which is fuel gauges check quantity. Alternate air controls check that they're in. That's these down here. They don't seem to respond quite correctly. There we go. Alternate air controls are in. External lights check. It seems like it kind of is going to use up the battery, but c'est la vie. So we've got a beacon light, landing light. If they're extended, my switch will turn them on. Actually, I think my switch turns them on whether they're extended or not. We'll go ahead and throw that. Yeah, it sounds like they're extending. Okay. Taxi light, nav, strobe, and we'll throw on the de-ice lights while we're at it. And now we'll actually pop back to this camera to look around. Okay, we got a light on there. We've got beacon light flashing up there. Landing light swung down underneath the wing. We've got nav and strobe. Oh, the ice light is hard to see in the sun like this, but that was the ice light. There's the taxi light. This ice light's easier to see. Ice light shines on the wings to, so you can check and see if they're icing up. Landing light, strobe light, nav light. Yeah, lights are working. Switch back to the inside. I'm going to leave the beacon on, turn off all the others, including the landing light. Oh, and I need to manually turn off the de-ice light. I don't have that slaved to a switch, really. Okay, and then flaps test. Okay. We've only got 2 down settings on the flaps. Switch to this outside shot for that. Yeah, it's only those 2 settings. Okay, I'll leave the flaps down for now until we fire it up. And so I always feel like we're using a lot of battery power. All right, on to the engine start checklist. Beacon light on, check. Propellers clear, sure. Magnetos all on. Magnetos are down under here, but I've got buttons. They work with buttons on the keyboard, on this plane anyway. They don't always work on all the planes. Okay, all the magnetos are on. Okay, and then we put the primer to the left engine. Yeah, let's open this up so we can hear it. It's not quite as impressive as the Duke, but still fun though. Okay, here's the primer. We switch the primer to the left engine. And then I have a button on the keyboard, but I'm also just going to hit it with the mouse here. And she's alive. And we should check for oil pressure. Yeah, the oil pressure jumped right up there. So that's good. And we already got an alternator on, so let's throw the flaps back up. And we should probably set the RPMs to around 1,000. Yeah, primer, starter button, left engine, auxiliary fuel pump. Oh yeah, I turned the auxiliary fuel pump on to low. It's weird, this one, most planes have you turning the auxiliary fuel pumps on before starting, and this plane has you turn them on right after starting. Something about avoiding vapor lock, I guess. Okay, check oil pressure, throttle 800 to 1,000 RPMs. Okay, we gotta drag that back down some. Yeah, I definitely opened the throttles a little too much. Okay, close enough. And then repeat for right engine. Okay, the door. And when did you see this? If you have no experience with this add-on in the simulator, the door is open out here, kind of blowing in the breeze a little bit. And I'm going to start the engine, and you'll see it blow the door closed, which is really cool, I think, anyway. Okay, this time we're going to turn on the primer, and then I'm going to use the button on the keyboard so we can watch it start. I think it's this button. Yes. Yeah, see? Close the door. How cool is that? Okay, we got oil pressure. And we're going to turn on the low fuel pump. And we'll go ahead and close the door. Close it and latch it is a good idea. And I don't believe there was a headset. I was canceling a headset simulation in this plane. Oh yeah, there's the. Oh look, the parking brake has unset itself again. Lucky we didn't start rolling off into the grass. Yeah, no headset simulation on this. I might end up turning it down a little bit because I know it's not loud for you guys, but man, it gets loud in my headset. I'll turn it down just a smidge. All right, so alternators check both. Okay, so here's the electrical panel. So left alternator seems to be charging. Right alternator seems to be charging. Battery's not doing anything. And that's where the volts are. All right, seems good. Seems all right. That's the end of the engine start checklist. Now, before taxi, avionics master on. I've got a switch on my honeycomb for that, but I think it's over here somewhere in the cockpit. Yeah, there it was. All right, that fired up the avionics. Flaps up, did that already. Auxiliary fuel pumps can go off, I guess, after the engine's run a little bit. Let's go ahead and lean for taxi, which I think is on this list, but we're going to do it now before turning the pumps off. Might actually lean until the RPMs come down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. They came down, the needles just started to move, so that's good enough for me. And obviously, again, I will edit out me inputting the whole flight plan in here, because that will be tedious. Okay, where are we at? Transponder set on standby. Yeah, I just saw that. Avionics set. Yeah, that's the point we're at now, where we're setting the avionics. Go ahead and turn the fuel pumps back off. And let's see, I know better than to start inputting the flight plan while it says no GPS position, because once it gets the GPS, it'll pop me out of the flight plan page. So everything seems to be running nicely. Oh yeah, let's talk about the temperature real quick while we're at. This one doesn't have a temperature gauge, but it has a passenger comfort index. And even if you get the passengers to an appropriate temperature, this could still bottom out if you fly erratically or have a really bad landing, you know. And you can go from green to, you know, orange or red for a variety of things. Also, if you don't, you know, keep it a comfortable temperature, which it's a little cool. So why don't we turn, let's see, would it be enough to, let's see if it's enough to turn the temperature control up and turn the fan on. I don't want to fire up the heater necessarily just yet. Let's see, forward cabin air, forward cabin air. Oh, forward cabin air. Yeah, we need the forward cabin air open. The rear, we don't have anybody in the back for this one. We're going to in the next one, because this flight's probably going to be two parts, two videos, and then I'm going to do another flight with this plane. We're going to do a little role playing. I got a special thing in mind. We're going to do a little role playing, but we're going to use a couple of these seats for that role playing. Anyway, we'll see if that warms up any. And now I will get the flight plan plugged in, which is going to be tedious. Let's see, we gotta start with our origin, which is not K. I think it's 42A, 42 Alpha. Get that plugged in, and then I'll pause the recording to edit out the rest. I toyed with the idea of, instead of making a part 1 and part 2 of the whole video, I toyed with the idea of making two versions of the same video, a with checklists and a without checklists. Why is this not letting me get a 42A? Yeah, I was gonna say, why, where's my letters? There we go. I don't know what I was doing wrong. Melbourne Municipal. Okay. Boom. All right, I got a bunch of knob twisting to do, so I'll pause the recording for that. Be right back. Okay, I got the flight plan in. It looks like so. Mm-hmm. 379 miles. And while we're over here, we might as well set the target altitude. 9,500 is what I'm going for. Making it an VFR flight. That's my intention. Looked like the weather was going to be, you know, clear the whole way, just some turbulence on the other end. We'll see. Okay, that's already done. All right, let's see where we are on the checklist. Doesn't look like the cabin temperature has no. Cabin temperature has not improved. So let's switch this to heat. Okay, I'll switch that to heat. And since it switched to heat, we better turn the temperature control down some, or we'll go too far the other direction. Now the cabin temperature minigame. What is the outside temperature anyway? Oh yeah, it's pretty chilly here. It's only like, looks like maybe 55 degrees. So, you know, chilly-ish. 55 degrees. I'm surprised. In reality, I am physically, you know, like 300 miles north of this point, and it's, I think, a little warmer than that here right now. Anyway, yeah, checklist. Let me get the Chromebook turned back on. All right, obtain ATIS and weather is next on the checklist. Sure thing. We'll look up the ATIS. Oh, I don't need to look up the ATIS. We're going to Lafayette. I'm pretty sure it's 127.750. So I'll plug that into COM2 in a second here. We got automated weather on here. What do we got? Wind calm. Visibility 10. Clear. 10 degrees Celsius. I feel like it's showing warmer than that. All right. Okay. 3027. Woo! That's high. Yeah, we'll switch that over. 3027. Yeah, that's some high pressure. Some high pressure. 3027. Should be there. All right, we got an altimeter over here, I imagine, somewhere. No, it's down there. Gotta get close. 3027. Okay, popping back to the pilot position. There we go. Okay, what runway should we use? When I was first choosing this airport in the world map, it wanted me to use the runway that I would have to make a right turn out here onto the taxiway. So that's going to be runway 3, probably. Can we see a windsock from here? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna look outside. There's a windsock. Somewhat flaccid windsock. But yeah, it looks like we wanna go down that way. Sorry about that. And that, of course, undid the parking brake. So which runway would that be? Yeah, it's got to be 3, right? Yeah, runway 3. We'll do runway 3. It's not like I'm going to announce anything on the ATC. Just wanted to get my bearings here. Yeah, we'll do runway 3. Okay, so altimeter set. Make sure you're leaning for taxi. Did that already. Lights, beacon, nav, taxi, all on. So beacon's on already. Taxi's on. Nav is on. Clearance obtained if necessary. We don't need any clearance. Doors checked, closed, and locked. Yeah. Parking brake release. Throttles as required. Brake test and flight instruments check the turn, slip, and heading indicators. So let's get rid of this. Hang on. Okay, I had to answer a question in real life there for a second. Back though. Okay, throttles as required, brakes test, flight instruments, check turn, slip, and heading indicator. Okay, so let's release the parking brake on purpose this time. And yeah, we're starting to roll. Hit the brakes. Yeah, the brakes work. I'm gonna give it right engine and left rudder. Turn away from those people. Go. I forgot how good this plane feels to taxi. Something about it. Model feels good to taxi. Okay, the turn and slip and HSI and everything seems to be working. So that would be the end of that checklist. Let's see if I can look at the checklist while I'm taxiing. All right, next one is the run-up checklist. So as soon as we get down there at the end of the runway, we'll do the run-up. Oh yeah, I was gonna put the ATIS for Purdue in my COM 2. I can do it after we get up in the air and get the autopilot on and stuff. Let's see, my window is closed and my door is closed and latched. I'm gaining a little bit of speed on this taxi. Oops. Yeah, I would like to have better rudder pedals. Somebody's making rudder pedals now that I think are only for PC, that instead of the pedal travel governing how much brake you're getting, the pedals have resistance, and how much pressure you put on them is what causes you to get the brake pressure in the sim. And that sounds really cool, because I mean that's basically how brake pedals work in real life, both in cars and airplanes. So that would be nice. Oh, run up checklist. Let's do that. By the way, I don't remember who it was that's making those pedals, because they're only for PC, so I don't care. Parking brake set. All right. Parking brake set. Throttles 1700 RPMs. Bumping it up. Okay, throttle 1700 RPMs. Check both alternators. They're charging pretty good. Yep, both charging. Vacuum system, check. I believe that's way over here. Yeah, the vacuum system needle is in the green, and we don't have the warning lights on. Alternate air controls, pull both and check for an RPM drop. Okay. No RPM drop there. No RPM drop there. Magnetos, check for 150, less than 150 RPM drop. So I can use the buttons on my keyboard for that. Okay, we're just going to both right-hand magnetos. We only got about a 50 RPM drop. Okay, back to both. Now both left-hand magnetos. Again, only about a 50 RPM drop. It's not quite as detailed as the Duke in that you get, I mean, this things work kind of a little too harmoniously between the two engines to be entirely realistic, but this was certainly the most realistic plane we had when it first came out. Okay, magnetos. Now propellers, check down to 1200 RPMs, and it says I had on here to only do it once. If I'm remembering correctly, and if I'm not mistaken, hang on, let me get it down to 1200 is pretty far down there. If you do it too fast, you get them stuck. I did that the first time. Good enough. Okay, back up again. Propellers back to full forward. Engine instruments all in the green. Yeah, everything is showing green. Oh, one thing I meant to add to the checklist that I never have is I like to put these two computers over here, one for each engine. I like to put them on what I believe is the warmest engine. Okay, it feels like it's engine 5, I think. Yeah, 369 already. Or cylinder, I meant to say cylinder. Cylinder 3. So cylinder 5 on the left engine, cylinder 3 on the right engine. All right, back down to 1,000 RPMs. Actually, we should do the old, let's go full rich on the mixture, and let's go complete idle and make sure the engines stay running. Oh, they definitely sound chuggy. Chuggy. Now switching to the before takeoff checklist. All right, they both stayed running. Bump them back up a little bit. All right, what I was trying to say about the propellers. The reason I only checked the propellers the one time, exercised them the one time. If I understood correctly, if I'm not mistaken, and if I'm remembering correctly, the propeller, the prop angles on this plane are electronic, and so you don't need to flow the oil in and out and get the oil all warmed up and everything. You don't need to exercise it for that purpose. You only need to exercise it for, just to make sure that it's working. I could be wrong. I know I read that somewhere, but very, very possible for me to be wrong. So, but that's my understanding. All right. Before takeoff checklist, fuel quantity check. The reason I believe that a lot of checklists have you check the fuel quantity right before takeoff is that it's maybe possible that you were leaking fuel all the way from where you were parked to the run-up area. So you want to double check that. Fuel selectors, check both on main. I probably should put in here where you do stuff, with them on crossfeed to make sure it works. Maybe I'll add that to my checklist next time, but obviously they're both still on main. Doors and windows closed and locked. Yeah, P2 heat on if below 10 degrees Celsius. Well, we're right about at 10 degrees Celsius, I guess, right now. Yeah, we're only barely above it now, and we're going to be taking off going up in the air. So let's go ahead and turn on the pitot heat, which I think I have set to this button. Yeah, pitot heat. Trim set for takeoff. The takeoff band is quite wide. We're inside of it. I might go... For whatever reason, the trim wheel doesn't respond to the mouse in this plane. It's very strange. But, I've got a switch on the yoke. There, we're going to go a little more nose up. I like a little nose up trim for takeoff. Cowl flaps check full open. We'll double check. Yeah, pull to close, and they are fully in. Okay. Flaps up unless short field takeoff, and it's not. Warning lights all off. Yeah, they certainly seem to be. Auxiliary fuel pumps on low for the takeoff. I wish you could put these on a switch. Whenever it's a auxiliary fuel pump that's just on or off, it works on my switch. If it's a 3-position one where you've got, high, off, and low, those are the 3 positions, I can't make it work on a switch. Auxiliary fuel pumps on low, lights, taxi off, all others on. Okay, taxi off, landing on, strobe on, clearance, obtain, yeah, we don't need clearance. Ice protection on as required, mixtures full rich or lean for field elevation. And that is the end of the before takeoff checklist. Let's look at the takeoff and after takeoff checklist. Throttle's full, 2,700 RPMs. Engine instruments check. Liftoff at 90 to 92 knots indicated. After takeoff, apply brakes. Landing gear retract once relanding is no longer possible. Flaps up if applicable. Above 500 feet AGL, propellers to 2,500. Throttles to 24.5 inches. Landing lights off. Auxiliary fuel pumps off. All right, let's execute all of that right now. All right, releasing the parking brake. Looking for traffic. Not that it matters. Everybody's intangible. I wonder if they'll make that a setting you can do, like if you're on multiplayer on Flight Simulator 2024, if both of you agree that you would like to be able to actually collide, set it to where you're not intangible. That'd be interesting. All right. Let's see if fuel pumps are on. Lights are on. Props full forward. Mixture full forward. I'm just going to roll into it here as soon as I get straightened out. Yeah. I can pretty much gun it. It's not a turbocharged plane, but I still like to roll on gently. Oh, she's going to lift herself off. I didn't even pull up. Apparently that was too much nose up trim. I'm having to push the nose forward a little bit. Let's see, tapping the brake, raising the landing gear. we're probably at 500 feet AGL. Backing the throttles off to 2500. And the props. I'm sorry, I was backing the props to 2500, the throttle to 25. And we're gonna roll on to course here. It's a little noisy in my headset. I need to turn off the fuel pumps. Settle for turning off the landing light right now. Ooh, too much. Alright. Boy, getting those fuel pumps is tough while you're flying. Let's see, 1000, 1000. Want to make sure when you turn the fuel pumps off that the engine stays running. Getting close to being on. Wow, still climbing like a banshee. Yeah, climbing a little too aggressively for a non-pressurized plane, if you ask me. But I haven't flown this plane in a while. Right after I got it, it was all I flew for several months, probably. Alright, we're gonna do the autopilot. We're gonna try anyway. There we go. Autopilot. Let's do nav. And I believe we have to hit arm on this one for the oh wow, that's way too much vertical speed. Let's settle that down a little bit. Yeah, let's make it 700 feet per minute. Now if I hit arm, we'll have to watch that. We'll have to make sure it doesn't blow through. I really thought arm would cause an altitude, you know, like ALT to pop up here. And it's not. So we're gonna have to try to pay attention. Okay, we need to start leaning out too, because let's see, I can give it a little more throttle because we're losing PSI because of the altitude. Just get it back to the top of the green here. Bring the RPMs down a little, make sure they're in the green. And I'm going to back the mixture off a little bit and watch the power needles go up a smidge. Oh, they're starting to bottom out, so we'll leave those alone. And then how's our engine temperatures? Engine temperatures are high, so we're definitely leaving the cowl flaps open. Ooh, this baby's loud. In the headset, anyway. Okay, how are we doing? Already almost at 5,000 feet. Oh, you know what? I should retract the landing lights. I have to manually hit the switch to retract them. That'll smooth us out a little bit. Okay, so after takeoff, landing gear up, flaps up if applicable. I don't think I have the flaps down. Double checking. Yep, they're up. Landing light off, auxiliary fuel pumps off. Okay. So in the climb, throttle's up to 24.5, propeller's up to 2500. Mixture adjust to climb fuel flow range above 3,000 feet. Cowl flaps open as required. Propellers sync manually. So we're pretty much in the midst of that. And so I'll bring up the cruise checklist and then we'll wait till we get to cruise. I forget, does this thing have any in-sim checklists? Oh, it does. Oh, but damn, I don't think it used to. I don't think it used to. Engine cowl flaps full open. Yeah, the checklist's not very extensive for the climb. See, after takeoff, what it looked like. Flaps up, auxiliary fuel pumps off. Yeah, it's really, this is what, yeah, you know what, it did always have this. This is why I made my own checklist, because the in-sim one's pretty miserable. Alright, let's get back over here. Yeah, we lost PSI because of the climb. Bringing that back up. Almost got the props full forward. Almost. And we're still in the climb range on the mixture. All going pretty well there, I'd say. Trying to sync up the engines a little better. I was definitely getting the out of sync wah-wah noise in my headset anyway. Alright, 6,500. 3,000 feet to go in the climb. And while I'm waiting, I'm going to put Purdue's Addis in nav 2. Or, I'm sorry, COM 2. Oh, I should have had a second cup of coffee this morning, I think. Let's see, 127.75, I believe, is right. I might double check it later. We'll see. There we go. Swap it over, and then let's see, receive. And that must be transmit, right? Oh, wait, no, here. Receive, yeah. There we go. Now we're monitoring COM 2 as well as COM 1. Yeah, receive and transmit. All right. Oh, you know what? I never put this on altitude reporting. Huh. Did I skip it on the checklist? Did I forget to put it on my checklist? I don't know. This checklist app I have on my Chromebook, I'm convinced it drops certain things sometimes. I didn't put in the frequencies of our VORs in the comm radios. I might do it after we get to cruise. I don't feel like trying to mess with it right now. And how are we doing? We're 7,750 basically. I bet I can push the throttles all the way forward now. Yep, that's all the way forward on the throttles. Pulling the mixtures back a little bit. Oh, yep, that was enough. Okay, that's max on the mixture. All right, we'll leave the mixtures on max power. Ooh. How we're doing temperature-wise. Let's see what it says. Cabin is comfortable and steady. Okay, we'll check back when we're at cruise. $8,000 feet. Yeah, not too far to go. Yeah, like I said, I really am trying to watch it because I thought hitting ARM on this autopilot would get me a reaction, but it didn't. It's pretty straightforward to use autopilot, but yeah, I don't know, we'll see. Oh well, we got a beep letting us know we were 1,000 feet from it. What's the outside temperature, just out of curiosity? We lost a few degrees. Still not down to freezing, but definitely leaving the pitot heat on. Just coming up to 9,000. See, our speed is coming down a little bit. I might drop the vertical speed down to 500 feet per minute. Yeah, I don't want the airspeed to get too low. Yeah, our ground speed's 190. It's not like we're legitimately going slow. But not in that big of a hurry to get up to altitude. Okay, now it says alert on here. I guess after we hit the 1,000 feet to go. All right, are you gonna catch it? I'm gonna hover my finger over the altitude hold button on my little mini autopilot box. It's not indicating that it's gonna catch it. Oh wait, there it goes. Really kind of waits till last moment. Oh, now it says altitude, ALT. Okay, good. You caught it. All right, we are officially in the cruise. Let's see, throttles 15 to 24.5, propellers 21 to 25. Mixtures lean for desired fuel flow. Propellers sync manually, cowl flaps as required. Auxiliary fuel pumps on low when switching fuel tanks. Oh, let's do that first, because I need to switch the fuel tanks. Okay, auxiliary fuel pumps both on low. Switching to the left tip tank. Engine stayed running. Switching to the right tip tank. Engine stayed running. See, now the lights are on over here indicating we're running on the tip tanks. Turning the fuel pumps back off. 1,000, 1,000. Okay. Alrighty. Now, about the engine settings. I feel like I had on my phone, I feel like I had looked up something, you know, engine settings, cruise settings. I feel like I had looked some up, but I don't remember what they are now. I feel like obviously at this altitude we want to leave the throttles maxed. So let's back the RPMs for now. Let's back them off to 2,400 RPMs. Ish. A little under. Fairly well synced up. Let's back the mixtures off. See, we do have an EGT. So for now, let's use the EGT to go rich of peak on mixture. Okay, there was peak. And on the right engine, there's about 50 degrees rich of peak. Peak on the left engine, there's about 50 degrees rich of peak on the left engine. And yeah, that's giving us about, looks like 75% power. This is a cruise power settings. Looks like we're in the 75 to 80% power range. That's probably pretty good. Okay. Not sure if there's any point in putting that first VOR frequency in since we're about to hit it. Gonna take a quick look at the frequency for the second one. It's 115.7. Okay, we're making the turn. That's always good. Let's see, for the nav, 115.7 is what I said, right? 115.7. There we go. I'll do nav 2 in a minute. Okay, I'm gonna check a couple things, see if I can find that that information on my phone about what engine settings to do in cruise, and I'll be back in a second. All right, we're back. A little outside beauty shot. Try to move smoothly. Yeah, that's a It's a neat looking plane. These aggressive tip tanks really kind of make it. Maybe I'll use an aerial shot for the thumbnail. Oh no. Well, I'll use. Oh, that's right. This is going to be an old two-parter. I'll use the on the ground one for the first part, and we'll use something like this for part 2. Sound good? Okay. I'm going to edit out my recentering of the drone camera. Okay, we're back inside. I looked up then how to, the specific engine settings for on cruise. I'm using the wrong mouse again. Here we go. I want to get rid of the flashing lights. Oh my God, stop flashing at me. There we go. So I looked up. It doesn't give for 9,500 specifically, but I kind of split the difference between 8,000 and 10,000. And basically, if you can, if you're pulling 22 psi in the engines, which we're just a little under, if you do 22, 2,400 on the RPMs, and then if you run it like 175 pounds per hour on the mixture, that's supposed to be almost 70% power. It's like 68.5% power or something along those lines. And then that ends up running you about 50 degrees lean of peak. So that's how I've got it set. That's where we're at. Obviously, I have yet to study how you use the lean find on these computers. I'm sure it's very, very cool and handy, and I swear I'll figure it out one day. I just don't know, right now. It says we've got, it says 57 horsepower. I don't think I agree with that. I feel like it's maybe 57% of the horsepower, but I doubt it's only 57 horsepower. Because, well, see, that would be 55% on here. I don't know. I've noticed that this is rarely in agreement with these. So, say Libby. All right, so our looks like our hottest running cylinders are still 330, 317. I could probably try closing the right cowl flap at least partway. I'm not sure the cowl flaps have really. Well, I'm not sure that the cowl flaps in any plane in the simulator legitimately have any impact on your speed. I mean, they should give you a knot or two when you close them up usually, because usually the cowl flaps are something sticking out, dragging in the wind. But the cowl flaps in this plane are these louvers on top. They didn't animate them near as I can tell, but it just basically internally closes and opens these louvers. So it really shouldn't have much impact on the aerodynamics, I wouldn't think. Oh, is the plane getting a little dirty already? Looks like it is. You can control how dirty the plane gets. It's something I feel like they're missing from the Duke. The Duke is so realistic. See, we're still comfortable and steady. The Duke is so realistic that I almost feel like it sticks out that that the plane doesn't get dirty. Yeah, okay. Current dirty level. See, we're moving towards dirty. If you keep flying the plane, it'll just get dirtier and dirtier. You can set the speed at which it gets dirty. I have it set to normal. But yeah, it just gets dirtier and dirtier. It starts looking super grimy. And it's not just the outside either. You start getting stuff on the floor, like leaves. Oh, I think I got a leaf down there. Yeah, you start getting leaves and crumpled up pieces of paper, and eventually like fast food beverage cups and things like that. And you end up with paper airplanes in a couple places. Yeah, it's funny. It gets super. Yeah, see, we're already getting junk here. We got a crumble up piece of paper. We got another leaf. Yeah, It's funny. It's pretty hilarious. Oh, these seats back here are low. Sitting on the floor. Let's see, what's this say? Maximum baggage capacity. Oh, it's related to the weight and balance, where the balance, you know, distance from center of gravity is. See weight and balance data for detailed load instructions. All right. Anyway, a little tour of the cabin here. How's our speed doing? Oh, we're doing good. 175. I had only set it on Sky Vector. I had it for 166 or something like that. Pulling 175 ground speed. Not bad. Not bad at all. Oh, look at this needle. Yeah, I don't remember how all of the stuff works in here. The VOR related stuff. Yeah, that one doesn't seem to be hooked up. But this one does. And we've got nav 1 and nav 2. I'm going to switch it to nav 1. Oh, it's going to be the same. I've got nav 1 and nav 2 both plugged into the frequency for the next VOR. So there's that. This engine's still running pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and close the cowl flap all the way on the right engine. If the left engine gets down a little closer to 300 degrees even, I'll pull it closed too. All right, how's our fuel in the tip tanks doing? Let's see, down to 24 gallons on each side. And then what have we got in the mains? We've got, yeah, like 22 or 23. Yeah, so we'll stay on the tip tanks for a while. We'll get the tip tanks lower than the mains before we consider switching back. I believe the checklist has us switching back to the mains no matter what when we begin the descent. So we'll get the tips below the mains and switch back, or if we're at top of descent before then, we'll switch back then. All right, and otherwise everything's flowing along just fine. Pulling 176 knots over the ground. It's pretty good. That out a little more. Yeah, we've still got a long way to go. Let's see, this is, I believe the 530 and 430 give you the total to the destination. Yeah, see, 284. That's nice. 283. Yeah, I like that. I like that it gives you the total to the destination instead of just the distance between each waypoint. Oh, that's right, we could do the VNAV thing. Let's see. We could try anyway. Alright. See, target altitude is going to be 1,600 feet. Because that's what I'm going to choose for pattern altitude at Purdue. 1,600 feet. Sea level, 4 miles. Sure. 4 nautical miles before our destination, KLAF. And we're going to want to descend at 500 feet per minute. That should have given us the thing. Sometimes when the destination is the checkpoint you choose, it doesn't work right. So apparently it's going to give us trouble. We'd have to have a you know, like a checkpoint or a waypoint, I'm sorry, that's closer to you know, I think it's sort of set up for if you know you're coming in to do a ILS or some other kind of instrument approach. Let's see, the wind right now at Purdue is pretty stiff, 13 knots coming into 330, so that would be That would be landing on runway 28, which I believe has an RNAV. Yeah, let's pop over and look at the RNAV for 28 in Lafayette. Yeah, let's go over to Sky Vector and have a look. We're gonna mute the plane though when we do. Because that's a whole lot of droning noise. All right. Our nav for 28. Our nav for 28. We've got JEPFE. JEPFE. That's probably the one, unless it lets us do the Eau Gray. I think it will let us do Eau Gray. Hmm. But if it's supposed to be clear, I'm not sure I want to take the time to actually do the whole RNAV. And yeah, it says 10-mile visibility, VFR conditions. Broken clouds all the way down. Well, broken clouds at 4,300 and scattered at 18. So, I don't know. I'd have to add in, well, at any rate, the 2,600. It would be 2,600 at Oak Gray. You know what? We're going to skip all this. We're not going to do it this time. The weather's not bad enough to really worry about it. So I don't think it's worth trying to run the whole. One of these days I'm going to have to really legitimately do an RNAV or an ILS to see a runway, and we'll do it for real then. So let's go ahead and get back in the plane and get the sound back. There we go. Yeah, so we won't sweat it. We'll just, the last waypoint is a pretty good distance from the airport. We probably won't have to start descending until that point. I'll try to keep an eye on the mileage. Because yeah, look, it's this is the difference right here. 212 and 270. It's 50 some miles, like 57 miles or something. Yeah, we won't even be able to call the tower or anything yet. We won't be that close. We probably won't have to descend until after this last waypoint, Terre Haute. Most likely. Okay, so I've been wanting to show this plane next to the Duke. It's one of the most next to the Duke. It's the most in-depth and realistic GA twin engine, probably. The next plane, like I said, I'm going to do another flight with this plane. We're going to do a little role playing. Not that pretending to buy it and take it home isn't role playing, but we're going to do a different kind of role playing flight with it. And then after that, I'll probably do the GA single with the most systems depth, which is the Piper Comanche. That's an add-on made by A2A. So we'll get into that one soon, and then at that point, after we've introduced that one, I want to do a video where we try to break the engines on all three planes. See if with the systems, with the systems set to realistic and everything, I want to see if I can abuse the engines and break them. So that should be interesting. Anyway, we might go ahead and call this the end of part 1, and we'll start part 2 when we're a little closer to the destination, like when we're maybe approaching the Terre Haute VOR TTH, then we'll make part 2 all about the landing and the debrief. Sound good? Okay, I haven't done a part 1 and part 2 in a while. This is weird. So, all right, guys, we will call this the end of part 1, and I'll see you guys in part 2. Until then, this is Papa Whiskey Bravo signing off.